So I want to show you the 6 Photoshop essential tools that every painter should know how to use. All right, let's do it. Hi everybody, Shelly here. Today I want to show you how I use Photoshop to edit and prepare my reference images. This is something I do pretty much with every single painting. I start out with my reference image and I'll oftentimes turn it into a black and white photo. I'll take that to a Newton, and I use all these tools to help me decide on composition and sometimes different backgrounds. I may cut out a subject and put it in a completely different background, and I can just adjust lighting and really kind of play without fear using Photoshop to test out my ideas. Essential Photoshop thing for you to do is to learn how to create a new sized image. So let's say you needed to have an 8 by 10. So you click on New up here, File, and then New, and you can go over here where you see it'll always default to pixels, change that to inches. Now you can decide you want 8 inches wide canvas by, we'll say 12 inches tall. Now you can leave the resolution at 300 if you feel like your image is a 300 pixel image. If you've taken the image with a cell phone camera or you've pulled it off of the internet, more than likely your image is going to be less pixels per inch, probably like a 72 dpi. But I know my images are 300 dpi, so I'm going to leave that. But if you had to change this, you just highlight it and then change it to 72. I'm going to leave it at 300. Now you can change the color of the background of your image. You could make it even transparent. It could be any color you want. I'm going to just leave it white. And then when you're set, you've got your width, your height, your resolution, your background color. It'll default to RGB color and 8 bits. Just leave that. And this other profile color and pixel aspect ratio is just really not important for this level. So just go ahead and ignore that and then hit create. And there you have it. This will be your new canvas area. So I'm going to show you how I begin looking at my reference image by pulling it up in Photoshop. So what you see here is the exact size of my canvas. If you look down here in the bottom left corner, there's going to be some numbers that's going to show you the size of your canvas. Mine's going to be 48.5 inches wide by 38 inches tall. And the image that I'm going to be working on is this cowboy image with these horses. So looking at the color image, the first thing I want to decide is how am I going to position it. So you see this positioning arrow up there. If you select that, you'll see this box that comes around, and you can move your image around in the picture plane. Now what I want is the heads of the cowboys to be just slightly underneath that wooden accent at the top, and I want a nice degree of splash showing just above that bottom wooden accent. So that's what we see here. Now another cool thing for you to know about is over here, if you click on this icon, it's like a little square, it's the crop tool. So when I click on that, I can go at the top, and right here, if you click on that, it's going to allow you to choose one of these compositional guides. So I like to use this triangle a lot. So you click on that and you can just click on the border of the crop tool and it'll put these guides in for you. So you can use these to help you in positioning your artwork within your art canvas area. So let's look at the golden ratio setup. So I'm just going to click on the border of that crop tool, and there again you can see how you're lining up, and maybe I want to check it against the golden spiral again against the rule of thirds. So with the rule of thirds, you want points of interest to fall on these areas where the lines cross, these 4 points right here. I like that this is showing me that the heads of the horses are kind of going across there. His hand of that cowboy's going across there with his arm. So I feel like that's a good breaking point there. And then you have all the interest of the horse filling up these center squares. And then I have this splash line coming along that bottom third. So I feel like that's a pretty good setup as far as the rule of thirds goes. And so those are the cropping guide tools that I often look at. So they're right up here. You can click on it and you see the whole list and you can just play with those. What I want to show you next is you want to turn your color image into a black and white image. This allows you to see it as more of a composition situation without color getting involved, and you can do that by clicking at the top on image, then you go to adjustments and come down to black and white. It'll give you all these options here, but I just usually stick with the default and hit OK. So now you have your black and white image. Hi everybody, Shelly here. Are you still struggling to learn how to paint portraits? Do you want to learn how to paint a portrait in the selective start method? Well, I got you covered. So I have a tutorial on how to paint this exact portrait here. So it's a model that I did a photo shoot with. So in the tutorial, you're going to paint brushstroke by brushstroke with me in the selective start method. And together we will finish and create a beautiful portrait like you see here. It's called Portrait of Emmeline. And if you want to learn more about my portrait tutorials, it's easy. You just go to sjcportraitcourse.com, and not only is the portrait tutorials half off right now, the coupon code is in the description below. So half off portrait tutorials, and I'm going to throw in an extra critique. So the portrait tutorial comes with one free critique. At the end of the portrait, you can send in what you've painted and I critique it for you. But for the whole month of December, I'm going to throw in another portrait critique free. So you can either paint another painting, or maybe you have one that you've already done and you just haven't had a critique on it. You can send that in. So you get the portrait tutorials at half off, an extra bonus critique free. So go ahead and check that out at sjcportraitcourse.com. This is the perfect image to do an underpainting from. You want to remove all that color, get that out of your way, and this way you can just focus on your drawing and your values. So now that you have your black and white image, you can take this one step further to really get a good grasp on compositional elements by turning it into a 4-level posterized black and white image. That's referred to as a Notan, N-O-T-A-N. So let me show you where you do that. You come up here to image, go hover over the adjustments, and then come down to posterized. Click on posterized. You'll see the levels here. These will change. You can have many different levels. I like a level 4. Let's just type that in. And then when you hit OK, you'll have the posterized version of your Notan. So here we have a level 4 Notan. So you just click OK. And what I'm seeing here is this lightest value will be my highlight. So there's a highlight here, a little bit here, just a few highlights along this mane of the horse that's in front, and a bit on his nose. I don't see any bright highlights in the water, and definitely don't see any in that background. So the whitest white in your Notan is didn't show you where your highlights are. And then the next lighter value, what you see here and kind of in the front of the water, are your light values. That's the reason why I like the 4-level Notan. It's going to show me my highlights, my light value, my mid value areas, and my shadow or darkest areas. So you have 1, 2, 3, and then 4 being these blacks. And looking at that, it will help you determine if you've cropped your image in a way that works really well in the composition, if you need to make movements or cropping adjustments by seeing where your blacks are against your lights, then you can make that adjustment. So another essential Photoshop tool for you to learn is how to cut out a subject from the background. So let's say we want to remove this figure from this background and put her in a whole different setting. Here's how you do it. So come over to your toolbar and you find this little circle with the paintbrush and you click on that. That is a quick selection tool. Okay, so you want to make sure over here you have your image highlighted so it knows what image layer we're working on. After you've clicked on the quick selection tool, you'll see here available select subject. So we're going to do that. Click on select subject. This is Photoshop 2020 or Photoshop 2021. I don't know if it's available for the older versions. I don't think so. But it's totally a really cool tool. It makes my life so much easier, and it's definitely worth upgrading to the newer Photoshops if you don't already have it. But you can see these little ant movement lines, and what that's done is it's cut out our subject for us. Now I've noticed here there's a little bit of an area that is missing that I want. So in order to grab more of our subject, you're going to see up here a plus and a minus brush. So the plus brush, click on that, and then you can just brush down and it will move the ant lines to go ahead and grab the rest of her dress. So let's just pull that all down there. We don't want to lose any parts of her dress. So I'm just looking at the outline of her, go around the image. Let's just grab a little bit more of that bow. It's coming around the hat. It's got her fingers here pretty good. And the rest of her dress is selected. Okay, so now that you see your subject is selected, you click on the move tool. It's that little cross arrow there. And then come back to your image, hold your mouse down on the left, and then drag the part we cut out up to the canvas. You'll see it here, and then drag her down and drop her onto there. There you have it. Your image is now cut out and living on a new background. So with this selection tool still clicked on, you can drag her down and make her fit on your canvas. Now, if you don't want to change the proportion of her when you're resizing your image, make sure when you click on the bounding box that this little infinity lock sign is checked. If that's not dark gray box that you see there, then when you move this box of the subject, she could get distorted, and we don't want to distort her. So make sure that when you click on it that you have this lock highlighted, and then you can just grab it and drag from any corner and make her fit however you'd like on your canvas. So that's how you select a subject, and just hit that check box at the end. And now you'll have a new layer with your subject and a new layer with your background. So the other thing to note is when you come back to your image that you cut out, to stop all the little moving ant lines. Let's say maybe you changed your mind or you're just done with that image and you want to put it away. You hold down Control and press the letter D. If you're on a Mac, I believe that's Command D. All the little ant lines go away and you're back to your original image. Okay, another thing that I do a lot in preparing my reference images is I will adjust the saturation level of color in my picture. So to do that, you come up to the image, click on Image, hover over the Adjustments tab, and then go to U/Saturation and click. Now you can move this box by dragging it over out of the way. With the saturation bar in the center here, you can increase saturation or you can drag it to the left to decrease saturation all the way down to a black and white image. Just put it back where it was. You want this to be 0. Now, let's say you feel like this is a little bit too green and you want to take it to a different hue. You can play with that in the hue adjustment. This is how you adjust the saturation, the color degree in your reference image.